Come on, dogs. Let's go. Load up. So I just stopped to eat my breakfast real quick. Got cold pizza and a Crystal Light and a protein bar. So in a couple of my previous videos, I've had comments and questions asking about our range permits and how these grazing permits on the National Forest work. So I was hoping in this video, maybe I could explain it a little bit better and kind of give you guys an understanding on what we do here and how it works. So if you guys have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below and see if I can't answer them later. And also comment down below and tell me what you think about grazing on the National Forest, because I've heard it's kind of a controversial subject in different areas. So I'd like to know what you think. I'm not wearing this hoodie because it's cold. It's because all these stinking mosquitoes up here. I'm sure the camera's picking it up, but you can see all these mosquitoes. You might be able to even hear them too. We've been doing a lot of the fencing just as an association. So we'll get a group of us together and just go do a section of fence and knock that out. And the other day we were up here pounding a bunch of posts on a different section. So I've been up here quite a bit. So I ended up just putting in the bid on the remainder of the fence that we have to do. So I pretty much just took responsibility for the remainder of the fence, and I get paid a little bit for doing that. So I wanted to show you guys this map and give you kind of an overview of what our range is like and kind of what the area looks like up there. So we're part of the Jackknife Cattle Association. So we run our cows up here on the forest with 6 other families. So our range up there is broken into 6 different areas. So we've got Luthi, Hatterley Canyon, Cabin Creek, Receding, Homestead, and Squaw Creek. So when we go out first thing in the spring, so we went out on June 6th, and we took our cows up in here to Luthi, and then the other part of the association, they brought their cows into the Receding, so we split the herd between these 2 allotments here, Luthi and Receding, and they stay in these 2 areas from June 6th to July 17th. Then on July 17th, moved all the cows into Hatterley Canyon here. So then they'll stay in Hatterley Canyon from July 17th to August 1st. Then after that, they'll be moved to this Cabin Creek allotment. So they'll be in Cabin Creek from August 2nd to August 20th. Then from Cabin Creek, they go to Squaw Creek, and they'll be there from August 20th to September 5th. Then the last move is from Squaw Creek to the Homestead. So then they'll be in the Homestead from September 6th to October 10th. Then on October 10th, that's when we round them up and bring them home. Then in the fall, when we bring the cows out, we have some corrals right here over in this corner. So throughout the summer, the cows will cover all this ground and end up over here. So then in the fall, we'll do the big roundup and bring all the cows into the corrals here. And then you just sort off your cows from everybody else's, and then you can either drive them home or haul them home. So we're on this range from June 6th to October 10th in all. I was up here yesterday Just working on stapling up all the wires. Now I'm going back through and fixing my broken wires and splicing them together, tightening things up. And I've also got quite a few posts I need to put in. I got to dig a few for these wooden posts. So that's what we're doing today. So how this works is each family owns like a different amount of shares, or AUMs, pretty much like an animal unit. And that dictates how many cows they can put up onto the forest. So like our AUM is one cow-calf pair, and that makes up a AUM. And depending on how many AUMs you own, that dictates how much you pay for the fencing and for the range riding. So the more cows you put up there, the more you have to pay for the fencing and the range riding, just to cover your share. So as an association, we could do all the riding ourselves, and we could also do all the fencing ourselves. But for the most part, we hire all that out. So we'll hire a range rider for the summer, and they'll go up there and move the cows from the different allotments and just watch over things. And also with the fencing, we usually hire fencers to take care of all the fencing up here. Because as you can see, each one of these allotments has a certain amount of fence to keep the cows in each allotment. So most of these yellow lines here are where the fences are. But this year we weren't able to hire any fencers, so that's why we've been up there as an association fixing the fence. And that's why I just put in a bid on the remaining fence, just to do it myself and take the responsibility for that. So we work pretty closely with the Forest Service, because they really monitor like the grass heights in different allotments, just to make sure nothing's being overgrazed. So it's not like we just turn our cows out on this whole area and just let them graze it down to the dirt. Like, we have certain requirements we have to meet, and we can't go below certain like grass heights, like stubble height. So your cows can't overgraze an area, and the Forest Service watches for that and keeps a pretty close eye on things. So when it comes to fencing and hiring range riders, the Forest Service doesn't pay for that. Like, that comes out of the Cattle Association. So we as members pay for that. So the Forest Service does help providing the materials for the fencing, but then we're supposed to do all the labor. And that's why we usually hire out the fencing part of this. But if there's a really big project, like if we're putting in a new stretch of fence or having to work on water troughs, we usually come together as an association and do that together. So the fence on this side of the range has been just as bad as what it was on the other side. I haven't been able to walk past the post without putting 2 or 3 staples in it, tacking up this wire. And I don't know how many spots we've got broken wire. I seem to have lost count, so it's slow going for sure. So I'm just sitting down taking a breather for a minute. So I've been dealing with a lot of this type of stuff up here on this range fence. So this tree fell over and took out this whole portion of the fence. So here's a fence post here, and I don't know if you can see my wires. So there's some wires through here, go through all these shrubs here, going back this way, same thing, more shrubs. Then you can see where these posts start taking off back down there. So I think there's about 15 miles of fence up here, and honestly a guy could spend all summer up here just cutting back brush, cutting back trees, trying to clear paths for these fences. So we just try to do it up the best we can where it can do its job. Well, you guys, that does it for this section of fence. I've got one more section to do in the next couple weeks, and then should be able to call it a summer up here, at least for fencing wise. So if you're wondering the area where I've been working on that fence at, so we're up in this area right here, working on this stretch of fence, the one between Hatterley Canyon and Cabin Creek. This is where I've been spending the last few days, on this fence line right here. And the next one I'll need to get done, before August 1st, is this section right here, this fence that separates Cabin Creek and Squaw Creek. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it was informative and you're able to learn a few things about these grazing permits on the forest. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.